Sarah, I'm trying to tell you, during the show, I said all that. Like, I've been saying this stuff since freaking
it's all
2 years ago.
One of my favorite lines in the book was, "We love our heroes. It feels good to believe that we can control our own outcomes. We as humans aren't quick enough to acknowledge that so much of our life path is totally, maddeningly, uncomfortably out of our control." Tell me about that quote and what it means to you.
I think that to sum it up, it's like we selfishly have goals, hopes, desires, and dreams that we want to accomplish. But, and I can only speak from personal experience, when I try to pursue those things outside of what God has in store for my life, then I fall flat on my face. Like, they're not going to happen because I'm stepping outside of what he wants for me. And when I try to pursue those things, like whether that be, going to the NFL, like I want to be the best football player of all time. That's not what God had in store for me. If I would have gone that route, I wouldn't be talking to you and to become the Bachelor. And being that person and going through that experience, like I may have touched the lives of, hundreds of thousands of people that I wouldn't have had that experience if, I hadn't done something like this. So like, anytime I think that I know what's going on or I understand, I'm reminded that I have no idea and just to be faithful. And so that's really where that quote comes from, is just to like trust God because, he knows my moves and what I'm going to do and what I need to do and where I need to be. And where I want to be isn't always where I need to be. So, putting my trust in him is just the baseline for that.
I love that. You obviously write about your family. We talked about it a little bit. And I assume, I don't assume, I know people can relate to that and it's going to help people. Your candidness, was that harder or easier or the same to write and put on paper as stuff like Bachelor stuff?
Sarah, I'm trying to tell you, during the show, I said all that. Like, I've been saying this stuff since freaking 2 years ago. Like, I was like on group dates. I was on one-on-ones telling people this like real shit that happened in my life. And like, that's the only way that's the only way for me. Like, I couldn't have imagine going through dating somebody, like becoming engaged with them. And then at the end of it, them being like, oh, by the way, like, here's all this like crazy stuff about my life. You'd be like, what? Like, I was really bought in. Like they thought like I was laying it all out there. I was there. I was really trying to have these women know where I was coming from and what I was about, so that when we got to the end of it, there was no shadow of a doubt what they were bringing home to their family and what came with being in a relationship with me. So, yeah, I mean, it really wasn't, to answer your question, because I had already said it. Like, I was preparing to see it on TV, and when I didn't see it, I'm like, dang, I guess it was too raw. Like, I guess it was too raw for what they were looking for, which is unfortunate because, like, when you're vulnerable and you're open about those things, like, the little bits that they shared that I was very vulnerable, like, hella people resonated with that. They're like, yo, like, I felt that. Like, I'm like, it's not that hard of a formula. Like, how about y'all double down on the realness so that, like people aren't dumb anymore. Like, maybe back in the day, you could get away with, like, oh my, like, this is crazy. Like there's been too many books come out. Like, there's been too many whistleblowers. Like, we're past that. Like, we're not, like, come on now. Like, let's be real. Yeah. And that's why you're seeing people go watch these other shows, because it's like, they're not tiptoeing around like they're like, this is what we're bringing to the table. Love is Blind, Love Island, Circle, Are You the One, 90 Day. Like, there's all these shows that aren't tiptoeing around it. They're like, yeah, like, this is what y'all want. We're giving it to you. So, like, how about you double down, Bachelor, Bachelorette, on like the realness, and you're straight. Yeah. So it's frustrating because you've got so much good stuff there, and you're fumbling the bag. So